Hello, it's Erica here from E2 Paper Crafts, and I'm here to show you a new fun fold. I think you're going to really like this one. It's kind of like a tri-fold card. So it has the base card, and then it has a little card inside, and then this tucks underneath this little embellishment here. So I came about this by accident because I was trying to do a triple fold easel card, and it wasn't working out. It was not balanced very well, and it kept flopping over. So I converted it. I made a few adjustments and converted it into this card, and I'm quite happy with this, and it will stand up, and it has room inside for a greeting. Now Easter's coming up, so I did go ahead and order this Welcome Easter stamp set. I just thought it was too cute, and I love making Easter treats for Easter, obviously, and I just fell in love with these three little critters. This lovely little lamb is what we're going to use today, and I used the little chick on this card. And I will use a little bunny, and I am planning to do a number of treat holders for Easter, so you will see these again and again in my upcoming videos. So let's get started with this. I'll just tell you some of the things that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use, this is a beautiful scalloped edge and stitched die, and these are called the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and they come bundled with this So Sentimental stamp set. So really, if you want to send a quick card, this is really great. Oh, just a sec. So there's some great sentiments on here, and you can match them up with these dies here. So you just have to add maybe some designer series paper to a card base, and then then stamp a greeting, and then cut it out with some of these label dies, and there you have a card. So this is a great set to have. A lot of people do just buy the dies themselves, and because you can fit lots of other greetings in here as well. And then I'm going to be using the little flower. It's called the Small Bloom Punch. This is a celebration item, and I'm also using, I'm going to punch these out of this beautiful DSP. This came from the Pleased as Punch designer series paper. So when we had these bundles of stamp sets and punches, we had a tulip punch, and we had an umbrella punch, and we had the heart punch. Stampin' Up! Came out with this pack of paper, so you can just punch out all of these designs, and that saves you from stamping things. So again, another quick way to make cards or little boxes. So that's that. And then for my little lamb, I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch and the 2 1/4-inch starburst punch. I love this combination for greetings. This is great. The colors I'm going to use today are Mint Macaron and Petal Pink. So I've got all my pieces cut here, and as usual, I will have a blog post with all of the cutting and scoring measurements on there for you. If you'd like to purchase anything that you see here, then you can shop my online store if you live in Canada. Keep in mind that we are almost winding down to the end of Celebration. It runs until the end of March. So if you'd like to get, for example, this little punch, or you'd like to get the DSP or any of the other Celebration items, all you need is a minimum $60 order, and you can get some stuff for free. And then Celebration will be over. But keep in mind that the Spring 2020 mini catalog does continue until the very end of May. And then the new annual catalog comes out. Pretty exciting times. All right, so let's get started first with our scoring. And I'm going to pull out again my wax paper, and I'm just going to cover my cardstocks with this, because this helps the stylus glide a lot more smoothly. And let me pull out my scoreboard. Simple scoring for this. Okay, we are going to score the main card base at 2 3/4. So I'm going to use the narrow tip of my stylus for cardstock. So 2 3/4 is here, and at 5 1/2, which is your half fold. So that's that piece. And then for the small card inside, I'm going to score this at 4 1/2. Okay, which is not half of the length. It's a little bit off, but I'm scoring this at 4 1/2. Just double checking my notes here. So that's all the scoring that we need. Let's put this away. So I'm going to fold this and pull out my bone folder to give it a nice crisp edge, making sure it's lined up. And then on this one, I'm going to fold it in half. And then what you're going to do is fold this score line. You're going to go back on itself like that. Okay, and then this is going to go on the inside like that. Okay, so I have a piece of DSP here. I'm using the Subtles collection of our 6x6 paper packs. There's 4 or 5 or 6 packs. I know there's 4 packs for the basic 4 collections of colors, and it's always nice to just have that extra DSP that doesn't coordinate with anything, because then you can just use it for any project that you have. So I'm going to pull out my silicone mat and my tape runner, and we're going to put this on that front panel. Like so. Okay, now we'll do some stamping. So I've pulled out a scrap piece of Whisper White. Doesn't matter what the measurement is, because I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to use the second largest framelit from the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and I'm going to cut this out. So I'm just going to put this on here so that I can judge where I'm going to put my greeting and the grass. So I'm going to pull out my Memento black ink, ink up my Happy Easter, and stamp that in there like that. Lovely. And then, oh, this set comes with the cutest little bit of grass here. I'm just going to set that black aside because I have to do my lamb. This grass is very sweet, so I'm going to pull down my Hair Pizzazz ink. And ink up the grass. That's all I want to do on there. And I decorated my envelope on the last card. Let me just show you, because I normally don't stamp the envelopes in my videos, but on my last card for the little chick, I stamped this envelope. So I did grass all the way along the edge, and then I added this little flying bumblebee, which is adorable. And I might add a little bumblebee on here for this next card. So that's that, and I think I will go now and cut that out, so I will be right back. Here we go. I love these dies because you get both the stitching and the scallops. Lovely, very feminine. All right, and now let's do our little, let me pull out another scrap piece of cardstock. Oh, I have a piece already cut for the inside, so let's not accidentally use that one. Yeah, that's that one. So here's another scrap piece, and let's do this little lamb. So sweet for Easter. There we go. And while I let my memento dry, I like to really make sure it's had time to set into the cardstock before using my blends. I will punch out a coordinating piece from a coordinating cardstock. I haven't quite decided whether I should do the pink or bring in the green again. I think I'm going to stick with the pink. So let me go grab a scrap of that. Here is, just to let you know on a little, something I do for organization is I buy these sheet protectors from the stationery stores like Staples, for example, and I store all of my scrap in here, and then I lay it in the tray where I keep my 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. So whenever I need a piece, I can just grab scrap from the same bin. I know a lot of people struggle with how to store their scrap pieces, and that's just how I do mine. So let's punch that out. Okay, so this should be nice and dry. So let's now do our little lamb. And I might do him with a little slight shades of gray. So I'm pulling out my, no, not gray granite. I think I want something like smoky slate. Are these my smoky slate ones? Yes. So I'm going to start with just using a little bit of light. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to create some shadows. You know, lambs really and truly aren't white. If you've ever seen them in the field, they've got shades of, they're more cream colored, I think. And they've got bits of brown and gray on them. And so I'm going to just try and color where I think there's a bit of shadow. So there would be some shadow underneath his little bow tie and around the edge here, and just a little bit in here. It certainly would be a funny thing to see a little lamb sitting like this in the field. I don't think we'd see that. Okay, and I'm going to pull in my petal pink, and I think I'll do the dark petal pink for his nose, and I think I'll do his ears. This is certainly not a realistic little lamb. And his feet, I think I'll do the dark smoky slate. And his little hooves, his feet and his little front hoofs. There we go. And I think I'm going to stick with the mint macaron and do his little bow tie. I'm going to use the brush tip end because it's very a tiny area to color. then I'll do the dark and just do this little middle piece there and a little shadow. Okay, that's some simple stamping for you. And now I can punch him out with my 2-inch circle punch. He just fits. Look at that, he just fits. I didn't test this ahead of time, so I'm really lucky it worked out. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. And I know I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on him. I know I'm going to put Wink of Stella on him. So just a little bit here and there. Okay, there we go. So I'll set that aside to dry a little bit. Now let's see. On the inside of my card, I want to pull in this piece of scrap, and I'm going to do some more grass along the edge. Like so. And let's pull in these little bees. And again, my black ink. Make sure every now and then I check my edges to make sure that there's no ink on there, because these tiny stamps, they can easily be tipped over. And don't rock them. Try and go straight up and straight down. Okay. And where's my cover? Here we go. So I think I can now stick this down to the inside of the smaller card. So this is going on the left side versus the typical right side of the card. Oh, look at that. I don't know how I got black on there or green on there. And I've put tape on now, so it's a bit too late. So, yeah, you have to watch every step of the way. Maybe I'll put a little bee up there. Okay, now we can, I think, safely glue this on the front. A fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, she says that she keeps a cloth in her lap and she's constantly just wiping her hands on the cloth, and I think that's a great idea. What am I doing? What am I doing? On the outside of the card. I think that's a great idea, and I should start doing that, because you want to always make sure your fingers are free of ink. Okay, now let's, I'm going to just use tape runner on the little lamb and put him on the medallion. I'm just checking for the right. There's always a right and a wrong side when you punch and cut things out with dies. So let's put him on there, and then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. Like that, and I won't put that on yet. Okay, let's see, what have we got going on here? Okay, I think we can safely put this inside our card. I'm just eyeballing it and centering it here. Like that, and then I will position my piece here. Or I wonder if I should wait. I think I waited and I made this. So I made this cute little embellishment with the flowers. So yeah, let's hang off on doing that. And then we'll put it all together because I want to tuck it under safely. Okay, so what I did for that is I took this die here, and I die cut, and it was the same color as on here. So let's do that on another piece of the petal pink. So I'll be right back. There we go. And the next thing I'm going to do is punch out some of these flowers. This card, I actually stamped the flowers and with ink, and there's a stamp set that coordinates with this flower. Hang on just a sec, I'll go get that. Yes, this is the stamp set that coordinates with the punch. So this was a celebration item. It was a 2-piece celebration item. So again, your order had to be $120 orders, a $120 order in order to get these. I've used the stamp set quite a lot. It's actually perfect if you enjoy using your Stamparatus and you've heard about the wreath cards. This makes a beautiful wreath card, and I've used it quite a bit already. So that's called Thoughtful Blooms. And so let's punch out some of these flowers, and I might have to bring in my paper snips to trim the paper a bit. So I need 5 flowers, and I'm just going to do a variety of colors because they're all beautiful spring colors. Let's see where I can get in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim the paper. So I'm going to bring in my paper snips, and I'm just going to trim, because sometimes you have to twist the punch. So there's another one. That's 3. Four. And let's get that purple one. Five. Okay. And so I'm just going to arrange these on here. I want to show you a little trick for giving your flowers a bit of dimension. There are 2 tricks actually I want to show you. Okay, this first one is to pull out your Stampin' paper piercing mat, and you can use the end of your Take-A-Pick tool, or you can use the end of a pen that has a nice round edge. Any pen that has a nice round edge. What was perfect for this is the old Take-A-Pick tool. Well, it wasn't called Take-A-Pick tool, but it was the old little pokey tool. That was a perfect edge. So if you can find a pen, if you don't have this, you can find a pen that has an end like that and keep it in your crafting tool area, and then you can use it. But this end should work, and you just want to press it in like that. The other thing you can do, if you have a pair of tweezers, I have these little tweezers here, is on your petals, you could fold it like this and create some dimension. I do this method on a lot of leaves where I actually twist, oops, sorry, I actually twist the leaf like that, and you can hardly see it in the camera, I'm sure, but it gives a little bit of dimension. So you just put it down the center and then just twist it. See that? Sorry, let me get in the camera. See how I twist it? And then it gives you a little bit of dimension. So let me just do a couple of petals like this. Twist. Twist. This works really nicely on leaves. Twist. I'll do one more, so we'll have 3 and 2. You want to grab close to the end of your tweezers when you twist. Twist. Like that, see? There we go. One more. Twist. Okay? So there's 2 little methods for you for giving your flowers and leaves some dimension. Okay, so I'm going to use Tombow glue to glue these on. So we need one at the top, one at the bottom, I should have moved this so I can see that point of the label. I think I'll do the purple one in the middle. Let's do this one. And this one. I just love these little flowers. I love when we always have a small flower punch because they are so useful, especially for treat packaging, you know, little bags and boxes, and I just love to add a little flower. Now this last flower, I think I'm going to put this on a dimensional. So I have these small little dimensionals here. Oh, that backing, is that on there? Yeah. I thought that came off. Okay, let's poke this up. And then I think I'll add a little rhinestone to it. There we go. So I'm going to pull out my rhinestone. Actually, maybe I'll use, let's pull out. You're going to see how I store my rhinestones. They're all in this one big basket here. I think I will use, no, I don't want red. Where are my plain rhinestones? Are in here. We've got, on the last card, I used, I used something else on this last card. I don't know if you can see it. I used a little sequin, and then I put a rhinestone on top. That's kind of cute. We have these little flower sequins. There we go. Maybe I'll pull those out, and then I'll pull out some simple, you could do pearls. I'll pull out a rhinestone. Yes, I'm almost out of rhinestones. Time to order more. Okay, let's find a little sequin to put on here. There's some little, ooh, green one would be nice. Or I have some little yellow ones. Let's do a little yellow one. Set those aside. And I'm going to get out my pokey tool. I actually have two of these take a pick tools, because if I use a tool a lot, I don't want to have to keep changing my heads, but it's meant to change heads. So it's an all-in-one tool, a very handy little tool to have. And I think I've told you before in videos, my favorite is that little spatula. Let's just pull this out and put it on top, like so. There we go. All decked out and bedazzled. Okay, so now let me bring in my card and try and make some room on this desk. So what we want to do is position the card, and this I'm going to put up on dimensionals because you want to be able to slip this underneath. So I'll pull out my large dimensionals, and you don't want to put it on this side because you're going to slip the cardstock under here. So I'm going to do one at the top and one at the bottom. Okay, like that. So I'm going to position my cardstock and then make sure I've got some overlap. On that. I don't know if you can see, but you see where there's a little indent here and an indent at the top. That's where you could actually line up the card like that. Okay, so now let's put some, and I might do Tombow on the back of this so that I can move it around if I need to. So tuck it under like that, make sure it's centered, and then lie it down and hold it. And the last thing we need to do is to add our little lamb on the front, and then we're done with this adorable Easter card. I love sending out Easter cards because it's a celebration of spring. That's why I send Easter cards, and who doesn't love an Easter treat? I have lots of fond memories of Easter growing up. See, and there's your card. So let's put on our little lamb. Oh my God, he or she is so sweet. You could overlap it a little bit. Actually, maybe I won't overlap it because you have to open that card. That was a bad suggestion. Don't listen to me. Okay, there's your, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, you guys. I have to tell you, I think this is the sweetest card. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I hope you will make one like this. I want to wish you all the best of luck with your spring projects. If you have any questions, feel free to answer. Down below the video, I will have a link to my blog, and I will have my monthly host code if there's anything you'd like to purchase in my online store. And yeah, that's about it for this Friday's Fun Fold video. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. Bye for now.